Hello, everyone, and welcome to Jackie Speaks. My name is Jackie. Today, I was going to continue talking about the black sheep in the family, but I decided to take a break and actually discuss my channel, who I am, what I'm about, what I'm doing here, and why I think it's really important to discuss what I discuss here on YouTube. Um, so, yeah, please stick with me as I go through the goals of my channel and how it could possibly help you, especially if you're healing from narcissistic abuse or you're recovering and you've dealt with a narcissist in your life. Okay? So my name is Jackie. I grew up with a narcissist, or rather narcissists in my family. One was already created and another was made during the process, from transfer from being a golden child to being a narcissist. And it was hell. It was a lot. It was torture. It was torment. Um, it wasn't a great childhood. And I believe this sort of set me up to be a magnet for several other narcissists in my life in the form of friends and coworkers and people I interact with. I went through a long, long, long journey of healing and recovery in order to, deal with the trauma of everything that happened to me in my childhood and adulthood and several other relationships that I had with narcissists in my life. And during this long journey, I learned a lot about narcissists, how they work, about myself, about the human mind, about what makes people so vulnerable to narcissists, how you can block yourself from being vulnerable to narcissists, going from being a magnet to narcissists to being a repellent of narcissists, how to recover, how to gain your confidence back, how to start trusting yourself, how to believe in yourself, getting rid of self doubt, building your self esteem, all sorts of areas, all the moving parts of recovering from narcissistic abuse. I went through that. I researched, I learned, I read, uh, watched therapists and healers and people who were discussing this. And so I gathered a lot of knowledge and just worked through my own experiences and my own mind and figured things out on my own. And I learned a lot that I believe can help so many people out there who've been through what I've been through, who've dealt with narcissists in their life, and the damage has been left and have no idea what even this is, right? Um, Even though it may seem impossible to heal from this, it is not true. The recovery process may be long and tedious, but it is extremely possible. There is light at the end of this tunnel. So if you found your way to my channel, you probably know a lot about the narcissist or know something about the narcissist, right? You've done your research, you've read articles, you've watched YouTube channels, maybe read books about narcissism, you know, how they act, narcissistic supply, you know about gray rock, how they gaslight, manipulate, all those facts, right? However, you can't figure out how to heal from that, right? You can recognize a problem. Okay, well, my aunt's a narcissist, my mother's a narcissist, my husband's a narcissist, but you can't quite figure out, how do I heal? How do I let go of this person? How do I detach? How do I build confidence? And I talk about build confidence, and some people probably don't even know that building confidence in yourself is one of the major ways, one of the keys of healing from narcissistic abuse. Because I'm not going to get into that. I could go into this topic forever, but I'll do a separate video. But you probably don't even know that, right? You learn a lot about the narcissists, who they are, and how to distance or protect yourself against them. But how do you heal? How do you recover? How do you get your life back on track? How do you get back to who you are? And that's what I've been working on for years. And I feel like I figured a way to do so. This is where this channel comes in. This is where I created Jackie Speaks in order to reach as many people as possible who might need to hear what I have to say, who might be suffering, who might be going through hell the way I was, and just need a break, need someone to talk to, someone to listen, someone who understands what they've been through or what they're going through, and needs this thing to end, needs to stop feeling like hell, needs to stop wanting to, end themselves and exit the world, you know, needs to get out of this toxic mind, feeling like your mind is trapped in negativity and always focusing on the bad and the ruminating on the narcissist and past events that happened that really, hurt you and triggered you, and stop being triggered all the time, right? Stop taking everything personally. There's so many things that are tied to being a victim of narcissistic abuse that you don't even notice sometimes, because the narcissist is so good at making you the problem. You just think it's, well, something is wrong with me, and you think your response to the abuse, to the hurt, which is a very human response. When you're hurt, you respond, but you feel like your response is evidence that something is wrong with you and that you need fixing, just like the narcissist says. But no, your response, your hurt, your anger, your ruminating, all of that is evidence of the abuse. And it can be dealt with and it can be worked on, and you can find yourself more calmer, less triggered, less worried about them, and more focused on yourself. So many little things, so many areas that required needs to be looking at in order to recover from narcissistic abuse. And that's why I started this channel. That's why I'm here. Now, let me put out a disclaimer. I am not a psychologist or a therapist. But what I am is I'm very interested in the human mind, and I've read a lot of psychology and therapy books. And I've also done my own research on narcissistic abuse, the narcissist recovery. I'm constantly learning. Even now, I feel like I'm at a good place. I'm still learning. I'm still researching. I'm still growing my mind. I'm still healing, trying to build myself up and my knowledge. And I feel like I have enough that I can help people who've been through what I went through. It started, my whole journey started with me trying to find what was wrong with me, because all my life I had been told that something is wrong with me, something's off, not like the rest of us, basically being scapegoated by my narcissistic family. And from trying to discover, okay, what's wrong with me, I learned about narcissism. Then I learned that some people in my family are narcissists. Then I learned that I was a victim of narcissistic abuse and I was scapegoated. And then the journey to healing and recovery began. Now the question was, I learned as much as I could about the narcissist and everything that they do, the little games, the tricks, how they manipulate, gaslight, get flying monkeys, get everyone to turn against you, start rumors about you, make people see you in a different light, the whole laundry list of what narcissists do and how they mess up your entire life. So now the question started, how do I heal from this, right? I cannot control how people see me. I cannot make the narcissist stop being a narcissist. I cannot make the flying monkeys stop being flying monkeys and listen to what I say. The narcissist did a pretty good job at turning them against me. How do I heal? And so then started a new journey of actually healing and recovery. And a lot of it was, a lot of detaching was involved, letting go, um, building self-esteem, because the truth of the matter is you have to stop caring what people think. And that's just a small part of the whole pie, the whole thing. Stop caring what people think and stop personalizing things the narcissists and the flying monkeys say and do. And build yourself up and your own confidence so that you're not affected by what they say. And that's just, and to say that to a person who's been abused is insane, right? Just stop caring what they think. You don't want to hear that, and I don't want to tell you that. But when you go through the different steps of healing and recovery, you do get to a point where you stop caring about them. I posted something that said healing is when you stop trying to make things right with a narcissist and start trying to make things right with yourself. And I strongly believe that is a huge step. When you get to that point, when you're not trying to people please and make everyone around you happy, make the narcissist happy. When the narcissist gets angry, to get their way, you just look at them, laugh, and carry on with your life because it's not your job to make them happy. Their happiness is not in their hand. You start focusing on yourself and what you want to do. You start listening to yourself and your gut instincts, despite what the narcissist or whoever that's still flying around is trying to convince you of. You are okay and happy to create distance and boundaries between you and the narcissist. Because the problem with boundaries is not that we can't create them, it's we feel like something bad's gonna happen if they do. People are gonna leave, people are gonna get upset, blah blah blah. You stop caring. I don't care if you're upset or if you leave. My boundaries are more important. That's when you get to healing. That's when you get to progress. And so there's so much I want to teach. So I really, really hope you join the channel and be able to learn as much as you can. Thank you so much for watching this video. Bye.